Welcome to PCR London Valves 2024. My name is Jonathan Byrne. I'm a cardiologist from London. It's a great pleasure to be joined by Tobias Kister, a cardiologist from Leipzig, and Miriam Wild, a cardiologist from Freiburg. We're here today to discuss some of the real-world evidence surrounding transcatheter edge repair that's currently become available, and it's a great pleasure to go over to Tobias first to talk through the results from the TriCLASP registry. Tobias, talk me through your main summary from this important real-world registry.
TriCLASP is a multi-center, single-arm, prospective European post-market study which enrolled 300 patients, and now we have the follow-up data of 232 patients. And what we see first and foremost is a very low rate of major adverse events at 1 year. And another striking number is the heart failure hospitalization analyzed was reduced by 72%. Concerning the efficacy of the procedure, just as a recap, we see 87% who achieved a moderate or less TR. And what we see at 1 year is that it's a durable result, so this reduction is sustained. If you have a look at the clinical and the quality of life outcomes, we see once again a significant improvement in KCCQ in 6-minute walk distance, and the Near class is improved. So just in short, we see a safe and effective procedure at 1 year.
So really encouraging results showing a very low risk, safe treatment for these patients.
Definitely.
And Miriam, the PASTE registry is a real registry of over 1,000 patients. What does that tell us about treatment of TEER with the Pascal system?
Yeah, so our idea was to complement the data that is generated by industry studies, by randomized controlled trials, with a real-world patient cohort that is a real all-comers cohort. So we didn't apply any inclusion or exclusion criteria. We had 16 heart valve centers throughout Europe that were participating, and that included all consecutive patients undergoing the procedure with the system. From the commercial approval up to November 2023. So we have a very large and contemporary cohort that we could analyze, and we found that patients in this cohort were severely symptomatic with a very high risk profile, very high symptomatic burden, and clinically very advanced. And also on an anatomical level, echocardiographic characteristics were very advanced with RV dilation, huge coaptation gaps in a number of patients, and CIED lead present in almost 1/3 of the patients. So it really differs from the data that we already had on Tricuspid TEER. And we could actually confirm the great safety profile of the procedure, even in this high-risk patient population. And we had a reduction of TR in these experienced centers that were participating of TR to moderate or less in almost 90% of the patients. And we even saw a learning curve during the project, because half of the patients were treated with the first generation and half of the patients with the Pascal Precision. And so we analyzed the two groups, but mainly finding what we believe is the learning curve, even in the experienced side. So the success rate goes up to 92% in these patients. And looking closer at this aspect of experience, we were lucky that we had a mean number of patients included per site of over 60. And so we decided to define a cutoff of the median patients per site per year. And that was 21. So we did an analysis which could not have been performed before, because nobody had these huge numbers. And so we looked at the patients that were treated at lower and higher experienced centers. And even among all these experienced centers, we find that there is still a difference with the caseload that you have per year with the system. And we found that as well, the intraprocedural success, but also clinical success at 30 days, 1 year, were significantly better in these highly experienced centers. And the SLDA rate, which was low throughout the study, was even lower with the experienced sites. So I think it's very important data that can make us really confident to also treat these clinically advanced and anatomically advanced patients.
No, it's fascinating data, and I think the comment about volume and experience is really crucial and important. Coming back to you, Tobias, what features of the Pascal system do you particularly appreciate? What device design do you like most about using the system?
But to pick ones, I probably go for the elongation. Offers the opportunity to address more difficult anatomies. So you can address pathologies within the commissures without having the risk of getting entangled there. And also, if you have this elongated state of the device, the profile becomes even lower. So if you want to place a device pretty close to the first one, you can even cross the valve in this elongated way, and this offers a very safe possibility to place the devices even in challenging anatomies.
Yeah, so flexibility and safety are really two key components of the system, and that elongation, as you say, is very, very, very useful. Miriam, for you, what advantages do you see of using Pascal?
Yeah, so I think another safety point which is reassuring for the interventionalist is that especially in the tricuspid valve, where you have this thin tissue of the leaflets, you have a quite atraumatic grasping of the leaflets, and you can feel safe to regrasp, to optimize the results, to open again and make another attempt. And that's actually something that I observed because we were looking at all the echo images from all the patients ourselves. So we did the centralized analysis. So I saw hundreds of procedural echoes now from different centers. And it's something that I observed actually, that many operators felt safe to regrasp, to optimize the result, to reposition even. And that's something that the system offers. And of course the independent grasping, which is very safe, so you can possibly even bridge larger coaptation gaps.
So absolutely safe atraumatic grasping of the leaflets and a sort of very flexible system are all huge advantages. So Tobias, what's the impact on the clinical practice of these important clinical findings?
With the safety numbers in my mind, I go very confident to the heart team discussions, I think. So we can treat even the older and sicker patients, and to be a little bit more provocative, maybe it's more an argumentation, why shouldn't we treat the older patients with symptomatic TR and not if?
And the same question to you, Miriam. How will this impact your clinical practice?
Yeah, I completely agree that the high safety profile and the very good results that we can achieve today in the experienced sites are really reassuring for us. And what I think is the next step now is to take away these results and bring them into the world, to get into the discussion with the GPs, with the cardiologists that are referring patients, because there is still a lot of skepticism around the topic. And so I believe that this data gives us the backup to go into these conversations and to see the patients earlier for evaluation and possible treatment. I agree.
Thank you very much. So we've had a really good discussion about the real-world evidence, modern real-world evidence for treating tricuspid patients with the Pascal precision system. We've had some excellent discussions of the data to date. It's a very safe, very effective treatment with really fantastic real-world outcomes. So I'd like to say thank you to you, Tobias, and you, Miriam, for your time this morning. Thank you.